Welcome to my house. Man, come in. Czechoslovakia at the time, that's the Czech Republic, but their last name is Dopyera, and there were three brothers, so they came up with this metal cone and it makes it a lot louder than a regular guitar. So it started off with people playing Hawaiian music on it first, and then this one has a square neck. They also have a round neck that's played just like a regular guitar. And the people in the Delta, Mississippi Delta, picked it up and we used it for blues. Playing bottleneck slide, only they would be playing it this way with a bottleneck on their thing, or sometimes they use a pocket knife or anything. They had to make a slide out of it. And then the country people picked it up from hearing the blues guys do it, I guess, and the Hawaiian people. And that's why a lot of the older guys, well, we're old now, aren't we? But the last generation of players had some Hawaiian sound in their playing because it was kind of like the history of where it came from.
They made that from scratch out of exotic woods.
Yeah. In fact, the wood we bought out in Oregon, it was a big part of a tree trunk. So, do you know Faded Love? Will you accompany me on that?
I don't know.
You need to play that once in a while and get them fingers back.
I know.
When we played here, a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I was playing the guitar, after about 2 songs, it was killing me too.
Yeah.
I just never play guitar.
Yeah.
Other than...
Would you rather do something else, or
Yeah, let's do something else. I don't remember that second part.
How about Cajun music? How about a Cajun song?
How about a Western swing?
All right. What's the name of it?
It's called the Panhandle Rag.
All right.
It's all Bob Wills. Back in the 30s and 40s, out west, they had these bands that Bob Wills was a band leader, and so the big bands were happening, and Count Basie and all these different big bands were in the bigger cities, Chicago and New York and all that, and so these bands out in Texas started putting these big bands together, but they had a country flavor to it, and they always had great players, and they were famous as far as what they do. But this is this would be one of the tunes that they would play, an instrumental. You ready?
How about a blues? Maybe I can follow a blues.
Just do a 12-bar blues in G progression. Just G, C, and D. Just a 12-bar. So it would be like start in G. No, in G.
You see?
G, 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 C, 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 G, and D, D, back to G. So that would be like a regular 12-bar blues in G.
All right. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that'd be a blues, just a 12-bar blues, or yeah, you can do that in the E or D. And it's just A, D, and E. It's just it's pretty slow. It goes A. Sound chord, but it's a D. A C. I'm sorry. Yeah, D. Graves wrote that, it's called Flat Lonesome, after Lester Flat. And then this I picked up, my brother used to play this for years and years, then he just quit, he stopped playing, he won't play anymore. So I said, well, if you're not gonna play one, I'll play it, so I started playing this too. Let's see, what else? Because usually this is more of an accompaniment thing where, you know, like when somebody's singing and you put in a little bit of fill-in notes around. You know, like if somebody was singing, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by. You know, so it's always like a little bit of just notes to add something to the background. Rather than, it's not always a lead instrument. But let's see, how about, yeah, let's do, you won't be able to follow this probably.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, this is called Fireball.
Who made that tune?
A guy named Josh Graves. He played, there was a legendary bluegrass band called Flat and Scruggs. I don't know if you ever heard of Earl Scruggs. Earl Scruggs is like the person who developed the five-string banjo style that everybody plays. And, well, not everybody, but most people play that style. There's an older style, a clawhammer style. And, but Josh Graves, when Josh Graves started playing with Flat and Scruggs and playing bluegrass, before that he was the Hawaiian kind of sounding, more like country Hawaiian. And that was kind of the background for whoever was singing or whatever. And then he started playing with Earl Scruggs, who was playing the banjo. And so he started taking the things that Earl was playing on the banjo, and he started trying to do them on here.
Okay.
And so that's how this style of dobro. And now there's a guy named Jerry Douglas, who's probably the best in the world now, and he even took it further, much further. Makes this easier than some instruments is you have the bar, but what makes it harder about is you don't have as many choices, because on a guitar you can like play different strings in different places at the same time, whereas here you're stuck with just the bar. So you've got to go find ways to do that, leaving notes out and stuff like that. And then there's a lot to the bar. It looks kind of easy when you're sliding around, but you use the fingers behind the bar to dampen it. Because if you didn't, it would sound like that with all that rattling. So when you're playing, these fingers here are keeping that from rattling. And then when you're playing single notes, if you notice that finger right there, that's doing that same thing when I'm only playing one note at a time. Otherwise, it doesn't sound like that, but when you put your finger down, and so that's how you get that blocking. And then there's also blocking you do with your right hand by just putting the pick down to stop a string from vibrating. There's some other techniques like hammering, where you get two notes by hitting at one time. And so you can do, I didn't do a lot of that today, so all of that was just two notes for each one hit. A lot of what you do with this is filling in the background between all the other instruments while people are singing. And I mean, there are a lot of instrumentals that you play, but a lot of it is filling those holes. Mm-hmm. And so if you just if you listen to it, like a 16-track recording of a whole band where they had all the instruments mic'd and all the singers mic'd, and then you played then you could just play one track at a time, and you hit the guitar track and you'd hear the guitar play its part all the way through, hold up the rhythm, and then when you got to if you just punched in the dobro track by itself, it just might be it might sound something like that, which would be just filling in the holes between the singer. What you don't want to do is play while the singer, you don't want to stand out while the singer's singing. And one of the tricks is you don't want to land on a note. Like if a singer says a note, Amazing Grace, you don't want to land on grace, because if you're just slightly out of tune with this bar, just a fraction of an inch, it's going to clash with that last note. But if you play a different note within the chord, then it doesn't mess up the singer. So that's what I try to do when I'm playing this. Is I try to fill in without playing that melody note and play other things. From the older style. job. So there I was trying to like make a little bit more happen in the background. If there was a rhythm guitar playing, there wouldn't have been as much dobro playing in there. So I was trying to just kind of fill up the space where the guitar would play.